Special product. This is already the last special product. By the way, just a short recap. Special product is intended for a shorter way to obtain the product of two polynomials. So instead of using the long multiplication procedure through distributive property, we can use special products in certain circumstances. So it's not applicable for any given. So it must fit in to the condition provided to us by each of the special product. So now, as you can see, we already have three terms. So we have a plus b plus c, and we multiply it by itself twice. In other words, we can write it as the square of a plus b plus c. And that gives us the last of our special product, called as the square of a trinomial. So how do we get the square of a trinomial? So the very first step is to get the square of each of the terms. So take note, the first term here, okay, I'll use another color because it's not visible. Okay, the first term here is A, second term is B, third term is C. So you just have to get the square of each of the terms. So that will give us A squared. Okay, by the way, this is not a 2. This is yes, that's a 2. Sorry. Then B squared, to continue, C squared. Then, second step is to multiply the product of the first term and the second term by 2. So, the 2 here is constant all the time, but the first term is A, second term is B. So, 2 times A times B is 2AB. Third step is to multiply the product of the first term, but instead of multiplying the first to the second, we multiply it with the third term, and still we multiply it with 2. So that would mean 2 times A times C. So 2AC. The fourth step, we multiply the product of the second term and the third term by 2. So the second term now is B, the third term is C, and we multiply it still with a 2. So 2BC. And then you just have to add all the terms obtained. So A squared plus B squared plus C squared plus 2AB plus 2AC plus 2BC. So let's try to find the product of this given. The square of A plus B minus C. So just follow the steps. So first of all, our first term in here is A. Second term is B. Third term is a negative C. First step is to get the square of each terms. So, in other words, that would mean A squared plus B squared plus negative C squared. The next step is to multiply the product of the first and the second term. So plus, don't forget, multiply it also with the 2. So 2 times first term, second term. Then plus, okay, third step, first and the third term, but still multiply it with 2. So 2 times second term, third term. Sorry, we're still on first times the third. So meaning 8 times negative C. Then, fourth step, multiply the product of the second and the third term by 2. So still there's a 2. So 2 times second term, third term. Then we simplify. This is A squared plus B squared. The square of negative C is just C squared. 2 times a times b is 2ab. 2 times a times negative c is negative 2ac. Then 2 times b times negative c is negative 2bc. And this is our final answer. So this kind of method is also called as the dancing method. It's so called as the dancing method because as you can see, we're pairing up each terms to another. So we just pair it up. Um, we make sure that each of the terms will be paired up to the other terms given. So the first term must be paired up to second, and the first term must also be paired up to the third. And finally, the second term must be paired up to third. That's it. So it's so called as dancing method. Okay, let's have our last example. The square of 2a plus 3b plus c. So our first term is 2a, our second term is 3b, and our third term is a c. So we do the same thing to get the square of the trinomial. Get the square of each of the terms. So that's 2a raised to the power of 2 plus second term is 3b plus the square of the third term. Then plus, that's the first step. Second step, 2 times the first term times the second term plus 2 times the first term times the third term plus 2 times the second term times the third term. Then we simplify. The square of 2a is just 4a squared. The square of 3b is 9b squared. The square of c is c squared. 2 times 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. So 12ab. Plus 2 times 2 is just a 4. And 8 times c is ac. Then finally, 2 times 3 is just 6. So b times c is bc. So that's the result. So if you were using the usual method, like the long method, this would be quite difficult or challenging to get its product. So the special product, square of a trinomial, will really help a lot.